What's going on, filmmakers? I'm Alexandru, and today we're talking anamorphic. More exactly, the brand new Laowa Nanomorph 1.5D squeeze full-frame anamorphic lenses. Now, the reason I'm so excited about these lenses, it is because if we take a look back a couple of years before, this kind of lenses were almost impossible. If not impossible, extremely expensive. You see, a couple of years ago, if you thought about a full-frame anamorphic lens with specs like this, you would have to be a millionaire or one of the best directors in the world to have your hands on one of these. I remember a few years back, I wanted to get a set of Atlas lenses, and they were impossible to buy. There was like a huge, long-awaited line, and they were also super expensive. Now, I was sad I couldn't buy a set back then, but now I would have been very sad if I would have bought one, since we have lenses like this at a fraction of the cost. Now, this brand new Laowa Nanomorph goes for $1,499. And it might seem a lot for a lot of people, but when I tell you the specs and what they do, you will say that these lenses are not expensive at all. I got the 32, 44, 55, and 85 millimeter lenses that I've tested on my Sony FX6. And while testing these lenses, I've noticed a few of the things that I really loved about these lenses. One of the things that I really liked about it is the size. And while filming with the Sony FX6 handheld, I noticed that the size is very good, the weight is very good as well. They only have 1 kilogram, which is perfect, and they have 1 kilogram across the whole range. So putting them on a gimbal would be very beneficial with very little minimal calibration process going on. Now, because they are so small, they might fit on my Ronin 4D. I'm gonna have to try that. And you also have interchangeable lens mounts, which means you can adapt these lenses to a variety of other cameras. In fact, I wanna film another YouTube video where I'm gonna test these lenses with the Blackmagic Pixis, because that one is in PL, so I'm gonna have to swap this mount on the back and I'm gonna put it on the Pixis. And because the Pixis has a more, let's say, square-shaped sensor, these lenses will look even better. Now, we're gonna get to that a little bit later in the video. But one thing that I wanna mention is that while filming, I realized that these lenses have been very comfortable to film handheld. And the reason for that is the focus throw. You see, the focus throw is 270 degrees, and it's very easy to focus by hand, because you don't have to rotate the lens that much in order to get your shot in focus. And this minimizes the shake on the camera and minimizes the amount of rotation that you have to do in order to focus your lenses. One thing that I noticed, and it is very highly improved from other anamorphic lenses that I've tested, is the minimal focus distance. And this is where these lenses, I think, shine. You see, minimal focus distance on anamorphic lenses was always a problem. A lot of good anamorphic lenses have a terrible minimal focus distance of 1 meter, 0.8 meters, or even longer than that, which is kind of frustrating because you have to invest in buying a lot of different filters to put in front of your lens so you can focus closer. And these filters usually are expensive if you want to get the best ones and so on. And they are called diopters. Now, with these lenses, we get a really, really impressive focusing distance, minimal focus distance for an anamorphic lens. And we get 0.49 on the 32 millimeters, 0.5 on the 42 millimeters, and 0.55 on the 55 millimeters. Which is really crazy. The only one that's higher is the 85, which is 1 meter, but even so, it's really impressive. The reason that these lenses have such a minimal focus distance is really important because it is something that it's extremely difficult to do with anamorphic lenses. And I think Laowa just cracked the code and made some anamorphic lenses that you can finally use without diopters. Now, the only thing that's missing is autofocus, which I'm pretty sure they're gonna do in maybe 1 year or so. So I'm pretty sure Laowa will just come with new lenses and say, hey, we just made one of the best anamorphic lenses that we do with autofocus, just like that. But anyway, getting back to the point that I want to mention, as while shooting with these lenses, I realized that their image quality is very well controlled. I didn't notice edge-to-edge distortion, which is something that is sometimes a thing that people want to have in anamorphic lenses. But in my case, because I want my lenses to be a little bit more clean, I was very surprised to see that the edge-to-edge distortion is very well controlled, even with the bokeh being very well controlled on edges, which is something that you don't really see even in spherical lenses. And overall, I don't know, I really like how the image looks, I really like how they feel, I really like the bokeh, I really like the sharpness, and I think these lenses have something very filmic to them. Like, whenever you put them on the camera, you just kind of want to go there and film something. You just want to go and explore different kind of things because the lenses look really amazing. Like, obviously, I want to film something more impressive than just one of my friends going on the street. But I also want to test these lenses out in terms of performance in a more controlled environment. So we're going to test out their focus breathing, their minimal focus distance, and how they flare, and also the sharpness. Now, one thing that I want to mention about the flare, you have the options to choose 3 different types of flaring methods. You have the amber, you have the natural, and you have the sci-fi blue. So whenever you order these lenses, you can spec them out how you like. You also have interchangeable lens mounts for it. So that's amazing. You have the possibilities to buy these lenses and use them with other camera systems if you change your camera. So that is really impressive. Also, Laowa claims that these lenses work beyond full frame. They tested out with the Red Raptor, which has a super huge sensor, and it covered it. So yeah, I'm really impressed with what Laowa did recently, and I gotta say, really impressed with these lenses. But let's do a more controlled scenario and see how they perform, so you can be a little bit the judge on what you think about these lenses. All right, let me know what you think about the test. Are these lenses perfect for you or not? To be honest, I was really impressed with the lenses and I want to test them out more. Like I said, I'm going to put them on the Pixis. We're going to see how they perform. I'm also going to try and put them on my Ronin 4D because I'm pretty sure I can make this work. Until next time, I'm Alexandru and thanks a lot for watching. See you on the next one. Peace.